Hello, everybody. It's me, Coffee Stitcher. How was everybody's weekend? Hmm, terrific. Really glad to hear that. I had wild hair there. I had a pretty good week. Very, very nice weekend. Um, went to the tour of Peter Pan. That's in this sort of in the round thing with like a projection screen all around. It's really cool. It's called Peter Pan 360. Um, Lot of fun. If it tours to your area, I know the tour is winding down for this year, but possibly going out again. If it goes out again, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah. Um, so hope everyone had a great week. We've got a lot today. This is actually the second time. I tried to film this Saturday because I was not going to be stitching much this weekend, so I thought I'll just go ahead and get it done. And then I got interrupted like in the last couple of minutes, and I thought I don't have time to re-record. So it's going to be about a half hour long. Um, so I've got whips and a finish and haul and Oz, um, and yes. So I will say, because I know people will probably be asking, and I have had a lot of people ask me, my only comment about this whole Starbucks Red Cup thing is, if a Starbucks Red Cup defines your relationship with Jesus Christ, you have bigger problems with your relationship with Jesus Christ than that. And that is all I'm going to say. Um, so, moving right along. We'll start with we will start with the haul, and then we'll do gifts, and then we'll do the whip, and then we'll do the finish, and then we'll do Oz. Um, all right. So first things first, my haul. All right. I actually did not do as much as some of you know, because there is the video that we filmed at Corner Bakery. I met up with Katie and Kate and Brian and went to Stitch Niche and then to lunch. And we had far too much fun and got in far too much trouble, and we really probably should not be allowed to go out together. Um, but it was awesome, and we're totally going to do it again. Although the next time will probably have to be on a Saturday, because I just don't get days off during the week all that often. Sorry, I realized I forgot to reset that. So there we go. I did get my needles that I needed. Unfortunately, they were out of the paper bobbins, which made me very, very sad. So if anyone knows where, and I think Kathy was mostly only ordering them for me. So if anyone knows where I can get them that look like this, that are blank, because I don't want to have to scratch out the GMC logo, that would be fantastic. So, yes. So please, if you know where I can get bobbins, let me know. I did not buy any Krynic. They only had, I think, 2 of the colors I really needed. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to have to order a whole bunch anyways off of 123 Stitch, I might as well just order it all and make my life simpler. So that's what I'm doing. Given how much I spent there, I don't feel bad about that. So, first up, for my bucolic dream, not bubonic, as I thought when I first saw this, I went, what does this have to do with the plague? Bucolic means pastoral or countryside. I was unaware of this. It's the 4-part series from Les Ateliers Perdus. I'm probably botching that because I speak about that much French. And as well, I would like to, and I'm definitely going to do this next year because it's really my only French pattern. But actually, I may even go ahead and start this in honor of France. Supporting France as best I can in these dark, terrible times. I got, in fact, yeah, after this video, starting this, I was gonna do fairy tales, because I was like, I want to go on fairy tales. I feel like I need to do this one instead. So I got some lovely 40 count, and this is, it's either Angel's Wing or Angel's Breath from Weeks Dye Works. I look it up, I always forget. One of the two. But it's 40 count. It's actually a really, really pretty color. If there was a way to buy it in bulk without it being crazy expensive, I'd totally do it. And then the chart mostly calls for DMC. Well, it calls for Anchor, but I will be substituting the Anchor because I will be substituting the Anchor, and I may even actually do more substitution. But it's done mostly with Anchor and DMC. There was 1 week's Dyeworks color. And the then 1 Nina's color. And while Nina's threads are pretty, Nina is based out of Budapest, I believe. Shipping from Budapest. Not the cheapest. So instead, I took the DMC conversion and then found a Gentle Arts that was close. And I went with Faded Rose, which is sort of a brown pink blushy color. It was charted in one called Cognac. So, and this is sort of cognac-y colored. So that's for Bucolic Dream. And then I got a sort of generic purple. I think this is Lavender Mist from Witchelt or Zweigart. I knew at one point Orange Lines. Those are Witchelt. No, those are Zweigart. Zweigart's the orange. So I believe this is Lavender Mist. I think it's actually from the exact same cut that I did my parents' anniversary gift in. But that's for the Mary Engelbreit Believe. Which I'm a tremendous fan of Mary Engelbreit to begin with, and then in light of other things that have happened recently involving her, and I grew up, Mom really loved Mary Engelbreit growing up, so I'm a tremendous fan, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. However, this is me we're talking about. I may get something else and go, oh my god, I have the perfect fabric for this, and then it's going to lose its fabric, and there we go. But we'll see. Who knows? So those were my fabricy things. And then he who said, oh, I'm only going to be getting fabric, no patterns for me, because I'm insane. I bought patterns. I got bunnies from Prairie Schooler, because they're adorable, aren't they? They're just so cute, and they're little coveralls, and I liked it do sort of an American Gothic, and apparently I'm Bernadette Beatles. So I got that. I bought, and this is partially Brian, partially Katie's fault. He picked up Map of Hawk Run Hollow, and I thought, oh, that's really pretty. Is there another one? He was like, yeah, there's one left. I was like, oh, that's okay. I can always get it another time. And Katie suddenly shouts, no, you have to get it, or else I'm going to get it. And apparently that works somehow. So I have it. So there it is. It reminds me a lot of the Plum Street stuff. Like, I really like some of the way this is done. It's charted much like Paulette did with several of hers. They're charted in needlepoint silk. I'm going to do DMC. Because, let's face it, DMC is cheaper. So I'm really excited. I really like there are 2 cats sitting on top of the bakery. And I think that's funny. I don't really know why. But I really like it a lot. So, then I got the next 2 in my Plum Street Cereal Bowl collection. This one, which says, The Daily Labors of the Bee Awake My Soul to Industry. And it comes with its classic colorworks. And then this one, Be you to others kind and true as you would have others be to you, which is actually a paraphrase of my favorite biblical verse. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Also comes with its classic colorworks. So I'm looking forward to doing, I know I started part 1. I'm looking forward to getting to work more with the classic Colorworks, because I really haven't much, mostly because Stitch Niche didn't carry it. So I've mostly used, so I'm looking forward to experiencing more. And then we all got Home of a Needleworker number 4. Mostly because there were 4 of this pattern, and we wanted to do all the one together. We'll start that in February. Now, I don't know if you saw the video, you saw the ridiculousness of my Diane Williams thing. I really am super curious, since it doesn't actually say in here to rechart with your name and the current year. It literally doesn't. I wonder how many people out there actually stitch Diane Williams year 2003. I really want to know. And I also really want to know why she didn't say that. Did she think it would be obvious? Because to me, yes, it should be obvious. But there's a lot of stupid in this world. So I kind of wonder, is there someone out there that's actually stitched Diane Williams instead of their own name? And then we joked about, well, maybe we should all just put Diane Williams. So if everybody does it, yes, I'm putting Diane Williams in. We talked about doing, like, Katie do Stash Queen and Queen of Starts, and I would be Coffee Stitcher, but Brian doesn't have a moniker. We need to get you a moniker, Brian. Badly. I don't know what it'll be. It could be, I don't know, like Anime Stitcher. Or, I don't know, Swim Stitcher. Or Stitch and Swim, or I don't know. Something. Stitcher B. Ooh, Stitcher B. Ooh, or B Stitcher. B Stitcher. Ooh, Stitcher B. That might work. I don't know if you're even going to watch this, but you should. I'm going to totally tell you about this. Yes. But if not, I'll do my own name. So, I don't really know. I was kind of serious. I'm willing to put Diane Williams' name in there if everyone else is, but I don't want to be, like, showing it off, like, in a group thing and be like, and here's mine, and here's mine, and then there's me at the end with, hello, I'm Diane Williams. We are Diane Williams, really and truly, I think, at heart. All of us are Diane Williams. Which sort of brings me to another thing that Katie mentioned. I heard her, I don't even know what she was looking at, but I heard her in the background of the store while I was getting fabric saying, you know, before Stitch Mania, I just never liked this sort of thing. And I'm with her. It's funny, when I started out, Halloween was my big thing. Halloween, fairy tales, ah! And yes, they still are my big things, obviously. You've seen what I stitch. But I've branched out so much, and I've discovered things that I really enjoy that I never would have thought I'd enjoy before. So, with very little exception now, I'm really trying to be bold and daring, and let's do this stuff. Now, I mean, there are some things like, oh, for instance, the lovely Vanessa Ann. There are certain, I will probably never feel a need to stitch these. Like her, some of these are so ridiculous. The one in here, what was it? Oh, this one, When I Grow Up Afghan, that she designed, where nothing is actually the same size. This one here. This is the Holidays 93. Literally, some of these things in here are ridiculous. H is helicopter pilot. K is king. Q is queen. Yes, I'm going to grow up and be... Oh, I did, I guess, technically, but... You know... U, undercover agent. N, night watchman. What child out there really dreams about growing up and being a night watchman? Really, Vanessa Ann? Really? Stay over there. So yes, there are things that I'm obviously never going to touch. But I'm really trying, and that's, I think, the thing I really want to focus on next year. I know I said I was mostly going to stitch from Stash, but clearly I've already said screw that. I bought patterns. So I think what I'm going to try to do next year is really branch out and try everything that I can. I did some of that this year. I'm seizing it for next year. I've done Chatelaines. Great. I've done Mirabilias. Great. Haven't done the Little House Needleworks yet. I've got 2. I'm going to show you the second one in a minute. I'm going to try an Ink Circles. I mean, I actually tried doing a mandala for once. You know, I'm really going to try and get out there. I'm doing more on perf paper. I'm doing a series of ornaments. So that's I think, kind of becoming my theme for 2016, is try new things. To quote the divine Miss Frizzle, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Or in my case, get stitchy. So, there you go. Wow, apparently when I'm tired I get impassioned. Not so much because I had a long weekend, I took a very long nap this afternoon and I found that I recovered from it. And it's rainy, and I'm always tired when it's rainy. So, anyhow, gift time. So, we all kind of got each other presents, because why the hell not? So, from Kate, she made me a needle minder that's a book of Little Snow White. Appropriate, given what my first designed chart was, which I'm sure you've all probably seen Katie's pictures of by now. She also made me an Ort jar with a tiara and a pink lid, and I like it a lot. And it will go over possibly to G2s and become my new Ort jar there. I kind of want to get puffy paint and write Ort on here. But I don't know, I may not. So she got me those, and she got me a chart from Little House Needleworks. It's 13 colonies. And on top of the fact that it's really pretty cool to begin with, because I do have a not like hardcore obsession with this time and period, or time in history, but I'm really fascinated by a lot of it, largely because of the musical 1776. But the other thing, and she had no way to know this, I don't think, unless she watched the video, and it may not have even been a subconscious thing, but if you look in the center, there's this section that's salt box houses and a boat that looks incredibly similar to this one that my mother did back in 1987. So I am going to try and get that stitched before 2017 is over, so that we can sort of have a parallel going. So they're really so that's what I'm really the most thrilled about for this, is for that there. So thank you, Kate. Katie got me, and this is very likely as well going to end up with the other carrot, because he really likes Dr. Pepper. The Dr. Pepper coffee cup needle minder. So I'm actually drinking a caffeine-free one. I also had half a glass of wine at dinner, and I don't normally drink, so it may also be that, too. I could just be a little... I'm not impersonating Cher yet, so we're not too dangerous. Oh, this is seriously just straight Dr. Pepper. I can't believe I'm babbling like this. I am so sorry, y'all. Anyhow, she also got me... We were talking about how Prairie Schooler was closing down, and there were several things that I still wanted, but I couldn't decide, and blah, blah, blah. Well, she surprised me with all 4. She got me Trick or Treat, Nevermore, Witching Hour, which I really love that dancing witch, and All Hallows Eve. And I think since I've got that Ada that came with that Chessie and Me kit from Silver Needle, I think I may actually do a couple of those ornaments on that, because I think I can get at least 2 on it. Because I probably won't use that Ada, and it's a really cool sort of gray, smoky color. Alright. Well, that said, I guess I'll do the whip. I don't remember which I said I was going to do first. So we're going to do the whip first, because that's what's in my hand. I've been working on Patchwork Pin Keep, which was part 1, or the first kit in the Silver Needle, A Little Help from My Friends. I am in the exact same spot, so it's symmetrical, completely and totally. So I'm probably about 2/3 of the way done, but I'm getting a little burned on it, so I think it's time to rotate. I was going to try and go ahead and just finish it, but I think after doing so many power-through finishes, I need to just do some shake-up. Because, I powered through Poe last month, and basically really only worked on that. And then I've powered through Octopus and mostly really only worked on that. So I think I need to take a break and do some other stuff. So that's that. Now for the finish. Here is Octopus Treasure Cave in all its glory. The only super crazy major change I did was all of the waves I took out the black work out of, because I really don't enjoy doing black work at all, and I think it actually simplified the piece and made it feel a little less cluttery. Then minor changes, these were supposed to have sort of a spider web, and I thought they looked cooler and looked more like starfish, so I left those alone. I did not do the Jessica stitches on that lower anemone, the blue one, because I frickin' hate Jessica stitches. But otherwise, everything else is the same. My beading was a little rough. I really wish that... I really don't know with beading which direction I'm supposed to go and when it makes a corner. So, because I want it to be uniform, but then it was confusing. So, but honestly, when you're right up on it, you can see it, but from a distance, you really can't. And then I added, because the pearl didn't come in the kit, that pearl is actually a simulated drop pearl from my mother's bead stash from when she started sewing kind of seriously towards the late 60s, early 70s. A package that cost her 29 cents. So that was kind of a fun thing to add to it. But I really, for the most part, really enjoyed my chatelaine. However, that said, with the exception of the Petite Princess Pearl in Monet's Pond, I didn't use anywhere close to a half skein of any of those specialty threads. The Petite Princess Pearl, it called for 3 in the materials list. I used a skein and a half. After Old Villa, because obviously I have purchased that kit, if I do another chatelaine, which I very well may, I'm going to take a good look at that materials list for that one, for whatever it is. And I'm going to go through, and obviously the bead pack I'll have to order because bead pack. But I'm going to look very closely at the usage. And unless it's a color that can't really be replicated easily, like in this one, Red Clay and Monet's Pond, really you needed those for, or obviously like the pearls, whatever. I'm going DMC. It's a lot cheaper. And quite honestly, in a lot of cases, like the shells here, there are like 12 different colors in it, 3 of which could have easily been taken away, because you just can't tell. You just can't, unless you're right up on it. It really does not make a dramatic difference. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. Because sure, it's fun to have these things left over, but there's a chance, I mean, in this case, I have a crap ton of blue Gloriana in different shades, and I don't know when I'm going to need those again. So I feel like my money could have been spent better in other places. So there you go. Take that as you will. So there is my finish and my discussion on chatelaines. Which brings us to the final thing. There it is. Again, this is a game. This one to me, though, is kind of the weirdest of the lot. Next week, you're going to see another educational style video game. And the week after, you're going to see really one that's more only kind of Oz-esque and was rebranded when it came to the US. But this one, I don't really know much about. There isn't a lot written about it. I don't know what prompted its creation. Because the game was released in '93. If it had been released in 1989 during the 50th, I could explain that. Some of the levels look similar to the 1990s cartoon series, but that series was only 1990 to 1991. Again, this came out in 93. So they seem too far apart for, a series that didn't keep going after that initial 13 episodes. And the fact that it's so difficult is also very inexplicable to me. It's the 1993 Super Nintendo Wizard of Oz game. It follows your general-ish plotline. Dorothy gets taken by, and Toto get taken by a tornado to Oz. Glinda gives her ruby slippers. The Wicked Witch kidnaps Toto. Dorothy has to go see the wizard to get back home. Maybe the witch kidnaps Toto. It's been a while since I played it. It's a platform game, meaning you have different levels and you're jumping around trying to land on things and collect things. So it's not so much you're saying, it's a linear story, but story is incidental to everything else going on around it. It is one of the most difficult games ever. And your weapons are really ineffective. Dorothy has Glinda's wand, so she can throw stars, or bricks, or jewel thingies, or bubbles, but they don't always work. And once you're out, then all Dorothy can do is kick. The Scarecrow has a pitchfork, and I think he can kick too. The Lion can swipe. I don't think he can kick. And the Tin Man has his axe. But it's a game where you have to jump, and the Tin Man's the only one with an actual weapon. But he can't jump. And the game, like most of the time in a platform game, as long as you land anywhere on your platform, you're good. And this, if you don't land in the exact middle, you'll fall through for no real reason. And then there are so many things in the thing that can kill you. Like, in the cornfield, there are these bouncing pumpkins that are dangerous. There are crows that fly at you. Dangerous. Okay, no problem with that. There are unicycling ears of corn that are dangerous. Again, it's Oz. Corn can unicycle. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to bat an eyelash. But then these little mice that run along the edge of the fence that are like that big, those also hurt. So you get like 4 steps in and you're already dead. I mean, it's ridiculously challenging. There are over 31 levels. They say awesome in the description on the back. I would hardly say that any of them are awesome. And then you finally make it to the Emerald City. Thankfully, there are cheat codes that let you skip through everything and just go straight to Emerald City. You get to see the stupid wizard. And he's like, oh yeah, you used up the power of the ruby slippers, so I'm just going to send you home in a balloon. Yeah. It's generally rated one of the worst video games of all time by people who've actually seen or heard of it or played it. I know they sold it at Toys R Us because I remember seeing it there, and I know my local grocery store had it to rent, but copies don't turn up very often, particularly in the box, so I was really thrilled when I got one in the box with the poster. But it's just, there are so many questions I have. Why was this made? What age group was it intended for? I would really love to know, and there seems to be nothing out there about it. Like, barely even a press release. I even dug through a friend's collection of Nintendo Power magazines. Or whatever it was at the time. I don't think it was actually called Nintendo Power. No reference to this game coming out. None. I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that it was released on a major platform, still in the middle of its popularity, because it was 96, I think, before the 64 came out. I've never seen any mention of it being in another country. So it seems like it was only America that it was released for. No idea. Absolutely none. So, anyhow, dear viewers, that's all from me for tonight. I'm going to go get ready for bed, actually. I'm not going to start that thing tonight because I've got to work tomorrow. So, I hope everyone had a great weekend, and I will see y'all soon.